What's bullshit but people still haven't caught on yet? Leave a like for 5 years of good luck. Black Friday prices. A week before Black Friday I was looking at something that was £20. Randomly saw the same product again on the same website on Black Friday and it was for sale like this. 75% off. Was £80 now £20. It's made up bullcrap. Either that, or they make a special edition with half the features of the original product. Expiration dates. There are no laws governing what date goes on food. Your food doesn't magically go bad once it hits that date, which companies often put as the peak optimal freshness of the item. They want you to throw it out and buy more. You can easily tell if something is bad by look, smell, taste. Edit. Expiration date is sort of a general term, so I copied the following from USDA.com. Best if used by buffer date indicates when a product will be of best flavor or quality. It is not a purchase or safety date. Sell by date tells the store how long to display the product for sale for inventory management. It is not a safety date. Use by date is the last date recommended for the use of the product while at peak quality. It is not a safety date except for when used on infant formula as described below. Freeze by date indicates when a product should be frozen to maintain peak quality. It is not a purchase or safety date. Edit 2. Wow, this response really blew up. I may not respond, but I'm doing my best to read every one response. Thank you for my first gold and silver. Fast answers for personal transformation. Spend 40 years with muscles slowly atrophying. Pack on 140 extra pounds of fat. Completely neglect your physical health and no exercise. Yep, all that will be solved with some apple cider vinegar or magic berry flogged by a man in doctor's costume on daytime TV. Edit. Woke up to see the score on my comment and I'm floored, so I figured I should add some value and show my personal transformation since May of this year. I once saw a meme that went something like, if your hamster is fat, you make him eat less and run on the wheel more. If your dog is fat, you make him eat less and you make him walk more. If your cat is fat, you make him eat less and go outside more. If you're fat, you take some smoothies and some special magic tea that is guaranteed to make you fit in 2 weeks. Free trials that require credit card information. Which is why you purchase prepaid Visa gift cards and keep them even when they run out. You can use the card number for free trials and not worry about unsubscribing because there isn't any money on the card anyways. Oddly enough, I got one of these as junk mail. Legit. All you gotta do is put money on it, or as they recommend, direct deposit your entire paycheck. Lol, no. Only piece of junk mail I've ever saved. Scammer. Send us a fraudulent card to get our money, abuses it instead of giving them money. Scammer. No. This isn't how you are supposed to play the game. Most social media, especially Instagram, it's a carefully curated fake highlight reel of people's lives. I feel like this is a banal observation, but people will still get depressed and jealous when looking at someone's Instagram, then will waste their time perfecting their own. Keeping up with the Jones for the 21st century. Here's the big secret: nobody is having that much fun. Most people are hardly having any fun at all. People desperately searching for validation by posting trite really need to start looking elsewhere. Most of the people who like and comment on your photos don't particularly give a shit about you. They are just doing it so you'll do the same for them. Man, I say this every time this comes up, but it's so true. When I worked at a job that had me traveling around my state all the time, my Instagram looked amazing. I had random friends sliding into my DMs asking me how to get my type of job, if there were any vacancies to let them know, and talking about how jealous they were. Constantly. And you know what? That job sucked. I hated it. It was boring. I was miserable. It was honestly at a real low point in my life. It just photographed well, and I had a lot of spare time every single day to get the perfect shot and edit the shit out of it. Now that I'm happy and genuinely living my best life, my Instagram sucks mayo. From the outside it looks like I went from having this amazing life to barely doing anything, but it's the exact opposite. I think about this a lot when I feel jealous over other people's feeds. Manufactured outrage. Media reports some fake exaggerated story about some insane thing that's happening that nobody in their right mind would think is okay. They call it a trend and act like it's a widespread phenomenon. Everyone reacts to this story with outrage. Now the outrage against this thing that isn't even a thing in the first place has become the story. The media reports on total non-stories that involve like one person and manufactures them as these divisive hot button issues. Tide Pods. Only a small handful of teens and young adults actually ate them on purpose. Like 7 people total, but the media made it seem like millions were doing it. Another example that comes to mind is, when I was a teenager, suddenly there was this huge outcry about teenagers holding pill parties where they would take random medication from their parents' medicine cabinets, mix them up in a bowl and take them without knowing what they were. For the life of me, even though this was being talked about constantly back then, I can't recall anyone being able to find a single verified example of this ever happening, let alone it being this dangerous generational trend. Starbucks secret menu. If you roll up and damp, ask for a Barbie frappe or a cotton candy hot chocolate, baristas won't have a clue what you're talking about. It's just a bunch of drink modifications that someone slapped a name on for the internet. If you want a special drink, bring the recipe for it. That having a baby is their most wonderful and magical experience ever. Not trying to be a terrible person. Just have a 6-month-old who is infinitely more difficult than he was at newborn stage and feeling hopeless and lost. My son started walking and grabbing everything within reach at 11 months. Now he's 16 months old, grabs shit and runs away as fast as he can. It's like a race to see how fast he can hurt himself vs how fast you can prevent it. In all honesty, I love going outside and just walking with him. It's gotten to the point he runs toward the front door whenever I come home from work and reaches for the handle but he can't quite make it. We go outside every day now. The amount of stuff we use because we assume that's what we need, when we don't. A prime example is toothpaste. You can get by with a little dollop, but the commercials imply you need that big ol' streak of it. Same with shampoo and a ton of other stuff. Basically for a long time if a company went to an advertising team and said, we need a way to push more product, the first answer was almost always, show people using more of it in a commercial. People will assume they need to use more of it too. Like when Alka-Seltzer made their slogan plop plop fizz fizz and started showing 2 tablets on the front of the box. The serving size was still 1 tablet if you read the instructions, but people were convinced to start taking 2 and their sales went through the roof. The label on chicken products that says no hormones. Hormones have been illegal to use on chicken products since 1950, and any bag that has that claim on it has an asterisk and is legally required to say at the bottom of the bag that hormones are illegal to be used in the poultry industry. Edit. Hormones not antibiotics. I apologize, brain fart. The stock market, 98% of people can't outsmart the 2% who have the inside lane. The best thing to do is invest long term. Put your money in and leave it. I had an econ teacher once explain it to me well. He said, is it possible to become filthy stinking rich using the stock and futures market? Sure. It's also possible to become filthy stinking rich by deciding to be a Hollywood celebrity. It's just not very likely. Had a finance teacher at university say on day 1, paraphrasing Dart, there is no way to get rich quick. If I knew the answers to becoming a billionaire, I'd be retired. Anybody telling you can is lying, because they wouldn't tell this magic formula if it existed. They'd use it only for themselves, because they don't want to compete with you and have inflation diminish their reward. There are only 2 ways to get rich: long-term investment, or very lucky to be in the right place at the right time. Every other way doesn't work or is illegal. The fitness industry. Social media has drawn in even more followers, young impressionable people with newfound body issues. Modern movies only make men and women feel more inadequate with their bodies, actors using drugs to get in shape and then claiming it was diet and exercise alone. Tons of advertisements for supplements like creatine and protein powders, pre-workouts and gym equipment. Yay, some of that helps, but it's maybe like 1% tops. Some of the world is waking up. But I still see plenty of kids buying workout programs or following fat diets, subscribing to fake natties and adamantly defending them. There really is no secret though, and most of everything you need to know can be found online or learned in some basic books about nutrition and exercise. It's a lot more simple than people want to believe. as everyone is looking for one easy tip to get shredded or gain muscle. Just go eat right, lift hard, and read your ass off.